back, Veronica. We had an incredible first interview on Wednesday, and my God, it's making the rounds. I have been getting so many comments and emails about that first audio. It was just absolutely incredible. Welcome, Veronica.
I'm very, very pleased to be here with you, Andrew. I can't tell you how important it is for me, as well as humanity. And Monty would like to thank you on behalf of the network on the other side of life. He is one of 12. He has brought them to meet me on several occasions. And they want you to know how much they appreciate what you're doing. It is so incredibly important for our world right now to know the information that you alone can give everybody. And it's just wonderful.
Oh, thank you very much, and thank you from all those on the other side. This is my service to the world. This is my talent and my gift that I bring to the world. You know, there are many people that have a tough time understanding or finding validation from what I say. It's not about validation. It's simply about understanding we start with a common moral code frequency, and that is heart truth. And that is the type of material that I'm bringing out.
Yes.
The other day when we were talking about CERN, that's some hard stuff to understand, that it's a belief system enhancement and control system that brings in an artificial intelligence that can subtly manipulate your adrenal glands to keep you in overactivity or under sexuality or over sexuality or into something that is very different than the natural soul framework of yourself, like a 40-hour work week.
I know it's been kept so quiet. It's been kept under wraps for so long, and people are only now becoming aware of it, and obviously wanting to understand
Exactly.
the reason it's there and who is serving it, who is organizing all this. You can only call it evil control. You can't call it anything
You
else.
call it domination and control.
Domination, total domination. But you
I,
see, people,
I've been getting to remove the words good and evil from my own belief system because, as I said the other day, it's a macro belief system enforced into this area of reality, this section of the galaxy. And when the haze of good and evil fades off of us, we will really see how simple our choices were, and yet
yes,
how complex of a being we are. To resolve karma on a big scale means these beings need to see very, very far. And this process of light and dark, good and evil, forever entangled in a battle, reached its expression point 13 million years ago. And that's when the zealot beings from all of the different parts of the galaxies came here and did what they did best:
yes,
refine this machine so that we all simply have to resolve karma. No choice. Free will
that's
gone.
right.
And
I
now
know.
we reclaim this free will.
Yes. And this is what, oh my God, people are so enthusiastic around the world to reclaim our free will
Mhm.
because they've only just realized we don't have it.
Exactly. So many people are waking up to the fact that they believe themselves to be patriots of their nations, and in fact, they are slaves to their own nation.
Yes,
Look at your own
yes,
credit card, your own ID system. I mean, what does it take for people to realize that your own government has sold corporate bonds to corporate organizations on your own health and wellness? And they've even predicted how much money you will earn in a certain lifetime, in your next lifetime. And that's what they're using to trap you with a digital sacred geometry system, as well
yes.
as a physical sacred geometry system that overlays the natural earth ley lines.
Now, the ley lines, that is a very, very big project for me. When Monty first died, he started explaining what ley lines were and the importance of them.
Mm-hmm.
But he said the timing had to be right. So this year, he said, right, the timing is right
Mm-hmm.
to
It is.
remove all the blocks from the ley lines. Now, somebody who was sitting here in my home with, I think there were 5 of us sitting here, he physically saw the huge obelisk in front of the Vatican in Rome actually start to crumble, and it
Mm-hmm.
just fell.
Mm-hmm.
Will that happen?
Well, when the sacred geometry system is cracked at its core, the main communication and control systems, which are 32 obelisks spread throughout sacred geometry buildings, will
Yes.
begin to eat their own energy at a cellular level. Because right now the system has to cannibalize energy, and the energy is stored into the very bricks and the fabric of the sacred geometry system, which is the Masonic bricks,
Hmm.
the different sacred secret orders who stamped their bricks during the 1700s, the 1800s, or 1300s or 1200s or whatever, because it was a very long building process to make a sacred geometry system that encompassed the whole world. So
Yes.
those different obelisks will begin to consume their own energy, and those archonic beings that are attached to them will go through their own cannibal process and begin to go into the obelisk and attempt to keep the system of domination and control still in the future. As we begin to awaken and take over the ever-present co-creative moment and banish them to the future and take their anchor away from here, we begin to stop planning our future lives in which they have already planned, and there's a disconnect from the reality bubble, and they are then removed from the reality bubble of our perception and put in their own different reality bubble. And those people who are still left in the system of domination and control, who have not waked, will be absorbed by the earth dreaming mind, and those final 22 obelisks will become dreaming objects and absorbed into the earth dreaming mind, as well as the other objects or artifacts that enhance CERN on all the different timelines. Those also will be consumed by the Earth's dream time, and the crumbling you see is when the Earth takes her dream matter back from these objects.
That is amazing. What sort of timeline do you see on that, Andrew?
There is no time.
No.
There is no time. We are
Will it
already in.
happen in my lifetime?
Oh, absolutely.
That's wonderful.
Hmm.
I really hope so. That is amazing.
So I understand that you have some messages right from Monty.
Yes, yes. Now, Monty has always said that Ireland is the key that will unlock everything. He reminded me of that again today. And he said, you know, to bring it out this evening, Ireland is the key that will unlock everything. Now, I know how it will happen, and you know I know,
Hmm.
don't you?
Yep,
I
I do.
can't say it out loud, but that needs to be done as quickly as possible. But all blocks are being put in my way.
All blocks have been put in everyone's way because
I know.
there's a series of things that happen as an expression after what it is that you do, that the rest of the world kind of sees how easy it is to unlock their local reality.
Yes, yes, yes. Now, you see, the Irish people need to recover what was forcibly taken from them. They have no idea who they are.
Hmm.
And I find that quite strange. You know, the Irish-Egyptian connection was extremely important way back in history. And
Absolutely.
it was the Irish who went to Egypt at the time of the catastrophe, and they wandered in the desert and they came back. Now, some of them stopped off in Iran and various other countries. You will find Irish DNA everywhere.
Hmm.
Now, in Iran, they checked the DNA and they found that a whole area in Iran has Irish DNA, proving what I say to be correct.
Absolutely. And there's Irish DNA in China, Irish
Yes,
DNA in Japan, Irish DNA in the native elders or ancients in Australia too.
yes, yes.
I mean, the
They were
Irish
great travelers.
they connected
Sorry.
to the Great Agarthan tunnels under the hill of Tara. That's the
Yes,
master control tunnel that allows you to get to the master system of fortified tunnels that connect different sacred geometry, sacred places that are deep under the earth, that are vast majority of them are technology that were built by the Lemurians and Atlanteans many millions of years ago, and each new generation has inherited the legacy of these sacred geometry local sacred spaces. And there, these tunnels were built specially to get to and from these, so our species, when we are under attack or reality infringement where something was trying to invade our reality, we could go into these protected tunnels that were their own bubble of reality and
Hmm.
travel to the different sacred places and enhance Earth from the reality infringement attack, direct attack, or whatever was going on at that time.
Hmm.
And as the society structure broke down and different, and there was no longer a global government or global society, it would broken down to its the worst of the worst. Even though things still had technology, the tunnels began to be fallen out of use. Many were purposely destroyed,
Yes.
but few of the people realized that many of these tunnels are self-regenerating based off of the sentience of Earth. So if Earth is bombed back into the Stone Age and there's only a few 100,000 people alive, the tunnels will collapse upon themselves, and the rest of the species who think that Earth is long since dead, they will leave. And then the tunnels, as more and more mankind gets stronger and stronger and goes back into Neanderthal and then back into some Dreamtime spirituality, the tunnels will begin to regrow and certain homing beacons will turn on and mankind will be attracted back to the tunnels. And as soon as mankind reaches into the tunnels again, they all begin to self-direct based off of the quality and quantity of psychic sentience in the human beings that are regrowing from the last destruction.
How very interesting. Now
And
I'm
that
going to Ireland. Sorry.
Go ahead. That is our legacy of what's coming up when we start to go back into these tunnels.
Yes. Actually, I'm going to Ireland on the 23rd. My daughter's getting married in Dublin,
Hmm.
and so I shall be there for 4 days. And I'm going to Tara, and I'm going to Ishnok when I'm there.
Well,
And I'm really looking
congratulations.
forward to it.
Congratulations on the wedding.
Thank you. Now, oh, by the way, there are 6 Iranian scientists in Ireland right now studying ancient Irish history,
Hmm.
which I find very interesting
Did you know
because
that
they're
did you know that there's a group of Indians in Canada called the Cree who also speak Jewish, which is
really
extremely similar to what? Irish.
well. It is the Hebrew language is the ancient Irish language of Iberu.
Yep.
At same 22 letters.
Same 22 letters in the Cree language too.
Yep,
All
that's right.
throughout North and South America,
Yep,
the language patternings are there.
that's
Because
right.
there was global communication, global trade, whether it
Yes.
was a psychic trade or an actual boat with sails trade, or a boat that a shaman figured out how to change realities from, because all that existed back then.
My God, you know, Monty often said they knew and understood the universe far better than we do today.
Oh yeah,
That
I
they
mean
had so much more knowledge. Sorry.
we've been in space since 300 A.D.
Yeah,
Landed
I
on the
know.
moon at 380 A.D. They're not going to tell us that though.
No, no. Yeah, that's about the time they changed our history and they told us that everything started in the east and went west.
Right.
And we know it did not. It started in the west and went east.
Absolutely.
Why did they do that, Andrew?
They needed to go in reverse of what they were going to do to set up time. There were certain DNA skin suits who could see forward into time and knew that their history was going to be changed by the victors and did whatever they could do to make sure that something stayed in the ever-present future. Whether it's people leapfrogging in time and bringing the teachings back out, or whether it was going to different caves and making sure there was a recording on the walls, or doing something that made sure our history actually survived, that there wasn't
Yes,
a break in all of the generations who didn't know our real history.
yes. It's really, it's only since Monty died that I have learned so much. You know, everything I learned at school, I realize was total lies.
False. Absolute lies.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Hmm.
Now, Monty said, would you be kind enough to elaborate on how to free our minds because the public need to understand how to free themselves from this control?
First of all, your mind is what's interacting with the artificial intelligence belief systems. And when the artificial intelligence is interacting with your mind, it is your own free will that is co-creating with your parasympathetic body to stay within the program architecture of the belief system. So for one to free their mind, they must realize that their mind must settle into their heart. In
Yes.
meditation, when your mind goes into your heart, you're reaching the highest point of perception because you're not perceiving with the eyes, you're perceiving everything with the heart. And in this meditation process or in this relaxing process, your crown goes into your heart. You visualize your crown chakra settling into your heart,
Yes.
your third eye into your heart, your throat into your heart,
Heart.
your root into your heart, your solar into your heart, your sacrum into your heart, and everything in the center of the heart. And we say, I return myself to the 0 point of the fetus in mother's womb. And from there, it's what you can perceive from the information of how much your body is resisting from wanting to go into the 0 point of the fetus in mother's womb. That is how much the mind is occupied. And we must
Yes.
learn to unoccupy the mind so we can enter the silence between the doorways of two worlds. And what are the doorways between the worlds? The fact that our brain says, the belief system says, you cannot speak to the infinite ever after life, or you're going to stay in this 3D world and continue on. The other side of that, it is real. And the mind can't fully accept that because there's belief system enhancement tools spread throughout the energy environment of our world that make other people powerful disbelievers.
Yes.
So there
Yes.
might be people that have a person around them that is a massive disbeliever, and as soon as you get away from that person, the paranormal experience will begin to happen and happen more as you allow your brain to settle in your heart, your root into your heart, so on and so forth, and you begin this natural process of sovereignty from the heart. It's
Yes.
sovereignty is built into your DNA. It's a knowingness of freedom.
Yes. I know it's so very important. And that's why the ley line activation will help so much, because it will release a lot of good energy and
Well,
enable.
more than that, if you think of the Earth as a car that's been this is a horrible metaphor, but it's the only thing that I can relate now. A car that's that's been had its wires hijacked so they can hotwire it,
Yeah.
and that's what the surface sacred geometry system. It's like a hotwired car. Well, once you
Mhm.
untake those wires, and you get to the original ignition, and you start that up, humanity will change absolutely rapidly. The things that are in our mind, the fog of war over our hearts, the fog of confusion in our sacred sensuality centers will begin to fade. People will begin to rapidly detoxify. I mean, they'll be crying tears of pure joy that literally detoxify them of heavy metals.
That's
We
amazing.
can do that. We can detoxify ourselves rapidly when the technology is turned off. We are just stuck in a soup of shame, blame, and guilt that's constantly being broadcast around us. And that's
I
why
know.
these psychic parasites are so effective in television and internet.
I know. And the plans to the depopulation of the earth. I mean, we keep hearing about this as well.
That's
They're
right.
not going to succeed, are they?
No, they don't have enough power. Like I said
No.
yesterday, the biggest lie of this whole thing is that there was one eye at the top.
Yes.
There was never one. There's hundreds and hundreds, and they're all black and blue from fighting each other. And a
Hmm.
couple have one eye because the other eye's got a patch over it because they lost an eye a few other battles.
Oh my God. But are they actively preventing us from working on the ley lines?
Yes, actively.
That's what I
That,
thought.
that's their
That's what I
that's their
thought.
it's their Alamo. That's their
I know.
last line of defense. After that, all that's left is their own internal energies.
Yeah. Now I find it very interesting. The response I got
Hmm.
was absolutely incredible from Holland.
Hmm.
It The enthusiasm with which they had addressed the ley line issue was, oh my God, amazing. Holland, Germany, and France were the three countries that really took it to heart and went with it. I found that very interesting.
Something that I've been promoting over here is for people to take the contract revocations off my website, galactichistorian.com. And if you look under the resources, you'll see spiritual contract removal. For people to begin doing flash mobs with the contract revocations in front of any sacred geometry building, media, government, banking, entertainment, war memorial, driveway, wherever is linked, post office, wherever is linked into the sacred geometry system, and they're everywhere.
I
You
know.
simply flash mob a bunch of your friends, some music, and you come out of nowhere and you come together and you read these contract revocations in public in front of these. And people have emailed me, and we've had over 2 dozen different flash mobs go over throughout the entire world, and people have been having spontaneous awakenings from sharing that experience and telling the system of domination and control right up in front of its face, no, I do not consent to your energy thievery. I do not consent to your energy harvesting. I am a sovereign being, and I take back my power from you and erase all signatures that you have housed, hold, or stored in all of my past, present, and future lives. I do not consent to your citizenship rules of creating future lives. We are down done, permanently separated as I return to the ever-present co-creative, infinite moment beingness.
I say all of them every day because in my heart I know how important they are.
Yep. When you read those contract revocations, it had been a while since we spoke, and I knew right away that you had needed that. Would you wish to share your experience when you were reading them?
Oh my God, it was like the curtains opened and I was seeing things as they really are and realizing the controls that are on us. And a lot of those controls we're not aware of. And this is how clever they've been. They've hidden it so beautifully you don't realize. But when you start doing these revocations, and as I say, I do all of them every day, you just get stronger and stronger, and your belief in yourself grows. There's no doubt about that.
Absolutely. The belief grows and grows and grows. And so many people ask him, why not just once? Well, just once is like a weightlifter who wants to be a world champion weightlifter, and they lift weight once, and they go to the Olympics and they lose. You've got to
Yes,
keep doing it. It's a spiritual
that's right.
expression and a discipline. And when you get good at it, create your own. Create your
Yes,
own for specific parts of your life. Begin denying the system from affecting you when you were a child. Begin denying the system the ability to create your future lives. Begin denying the system to put ancestral karmic curses on you so that a future version of you or this version of you who accidentally steps into some karmic landmine finds themselves cursed. And the
yes.
people that would track back the curse could never trace it because you put it on yourself. There are
How
so
interesting.
many people out in this world that have literally cursed themselves, literally,
Hmm.
literally, that they cannot go forward anymore in these lives. They can only let the system plan their future lives because these curses that they gave on themselves are so intricate.
My God. Oh, we have been so asleep.
In a nightmare and
It's
asleep.
total nightmare, my dear, total nightmare. But you see, we're waking up, and that's what's wonderful.
That's
That
right.
really is wonderful. Now, something else I wanted to talk to you about is GMO food. England has welcomed it in. Our government,
It's poison.
really, it's
Poison
total poison.
designed to affect you to do what? You don't sleep right. You're
That's
not
right.
going to eat right. The food's not going to process in your gut right, and all of those medicines that you've been taking get absorbed back into that unprocessed food and then go into your feces, and they get flushed down your toilet and go right back into where? The water and the land, so you can start
That's right.
consuming them again and start this process over and over and over again.
Hmm.
Something else about GMO food. Well, guess what? Some of it doesn't start on this planet.
Really?
Oh yeah, we have over 10,000 different species DNA inside the soup DNA of human beings. And you start bringing plants from other places and genetically modifying them with corn and not testing it on the whole DNA population, well, what do you think is going to happen? Exactly what they wanted to happen.
Yes.
Mutations and manifestations that do what? show human being transhumanism. And we are not transhumanism. We are humans. This is a
Yes.
different agenda being brought into our world so that we are made to think by our own belief system that we were never humans to begin with. That's a
Oh,
massive propaganda lie. We are human. And
yes.
yes, we share the DNA of everyone else. That's just like a dog that has shared the DNA with bunches of other lineages. Are
Hmm.
we mutts? We're the mutts of the universe. But these mutts of the universe are what save the DNA of the rest of the universe because they've been stuck in a DNA trade for so long, they have confused their own trees of life.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I know. I mean, they're attacking us in every possible way, through the
That's their job.
food, through the water, through the air we breathe.
Hmm? That's their
I mean,
job.
Monty, as you may not know, he was an expert on agriculture and all that sort of thing as well.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, once we've awakened and refused to have GMO food, it will take the soil at least 100 years to recover. And in the meantime, he told me about hydroponics,
Mm-hmm.
which will grow food that is absolutely fantastic.
There's
And
there's technology out there, both physical technology and spiritual technology, that can recycle the soil of the ground within a year. It'll require
really,
people that have a common moral code that go
yes.
into a polluted area and begin to form energy releasing ceremonies in alignment with the ley lines and the moons. And literally,
Uh-huh.
you can alchemize all of the negativity out of the land, and then you can put technology back into the land to make sure that any deeper processes that are on there can begin to release based off of the process of the full waning and waxing of the moon, which is once again linked into the new foundational system of our sacred geometry positive system, which allows human beings tending the land to heal the land and the land to heal them. The polluted oceans can be cleaned up in 4 to 5 years. The technology is already on our planet. We just need an
Yeah.
implementation and processing plan that takes the system of pollution that we've created and the uncollective weather patterns and HARP that's been screwing up our natural weather patterns and
Yes.
begin to put a process in place that brings it back to the natural order. And yes, during that natural order, the ground will shake, a few volcanoes will go off,
Hmm.
but it'll be no different than the CNN news reporting a volcano from last week or next
Yeah.
week or a couple of weeks before. It
Hmm.
happens. As we, the reality creators, who are sharing a reality with this planet, who is the matter of the dream, don't want to kill each other again. We don't want to start
No.
over again.
No.
We want this over. It's time for the birds to leave the nest, and those other birds that want to stay, stay.
Yes. And the chemtrails, my God.
Mm-hmm.
I
Chem-
Some days it's so much worse than others.
well,
The sky seems to be.
the
Yep.
GMO food cannot be in this reality without chemtrails. Now the
Oh,
others,
really?
oh yeah, it's all intertwined, all intertwined,
Oh.
all intertwined. The other side of chemtrails is it's meant to affect our ozone layer. It's meant to affect the way gradients of water associate in the air. When water reaches 4 degrees in the higher atmosphere, it goes through a very special process called the fourth phase of water, in which infinite matter and infinite energy can be manifested out of it. And Tesla knew this. All the big scientists of the
Hmm.
1800s and 1700s knew this. Heck, scientists in 200 AD knew this and were able to make free energy systems.
Yes.
All right, it's
Yes.
all been known. You can tap water for unlimited energy, and it isn't even cold fusion. It's understanding that water at 4 degrees has very special properties.
Yes.
And water has been suppressed as a research technology for a really long time.
Yeah.
There are things that scientists don't know about water, like what makes it work, what holds it together, why at 4 degrees does it become a solid and a liquid simultaneously, and its mass and volume can be different than its solid or liquid state. You've broken the rules of mass and volume right there. Why does
Yes.
it do that? Science will not tell us, because once it
No.
does, you realize that water is the membrane that connects us to the webs of life. that all levels of quantum connection that we have. It is water that transfers the electrons to all forms of the webs of life. And it's how we, these brains filled with water, communicate to everything. Because our DNA here is
Yeah.
also linked to this water, which is omnidirectionally broadcasting who we are, what we're doing, and then how we interact with the world as a human being in connection with the earth and our ancestors, so we can heal our planet, our nation, and our tribes, and once again become clans who commonly accept the freedom of all species, of all kinds, in all universes.
That is truly amazing information.
Thank you.
And it will take us time to sort of digest it. And because that is, I've never heard this before in my life. That is truly amazing. And I thank you for it.
You are welcome.
Because we're learning now.
Mm-hmm.
We have started to open our eyes, and we need to know, we need to understand, so that we are aware and we can step back from things that are not meant for us. I mean, you mentioned HARP there. The first time my attention was drawn to HARP, I was being attacked, very badly attacked, microwave attacks. And in a seance, I was told it was HARP. And they explained how it was done, and they explained everything about it.
Mm-hmm.
And HARP, as you said last time, can be used for good. It does not have to be used for evil.
That's correct. It does not have to be used for evil. HARP has many positive benefits. When HARP was physically going after you, what it was actually doing was affecting you at the DNA level.
Yes.
So other versions of yourself couldn't come and reintegrate parts of your soul shards. And sometimes when they specifically target you with the scalar weapons, HARP in general is the atmospheric control. There are other projects that exist inside HARP that are specific human scalar weapons. And there's human beings in our population who are your next door neighbor and have no idea that they're a scalar weapon. That when HARP goes to a specific frequency, their DNA rings like a bowl, like a glass that's been hit me. Their DNA rings and spreads out this scalar concept, what begins to affect your DNA. And naturally, your DNA wants to resonate in the harmoniance of this other DNA, because that's what it does, until your DNA realizes, wait, this isn't my signature frequency. And then you lose your connection to your infinicy, because something is overpowering your ability to connect to your natural light body signature frequency.
Andrew, you don't realize what you've just told me. Monty explained that there was a couple living opposite me, and he said the scalar attacks was coming from them.
Yeah.
And I couldn't see how that could possibly be. I know they didn't like me because they didn't like what I was doing, but I thought, no, they would never attack me.
They didn't do it on purpose.
It.
They didn't do it on purpose. They're just cranky neighbors that were targeted by the system, who resonated a field of scalar energy that made sure you couldn't connect to your light body, as well as thousands of other people around them.
And they caused me to have strokes.
Mm-hmm.
I never went to hospital because I have the most amazing friend. He's been my friend for 30 years. He's one of the most brilliant doctors. Monty explained he has been in medicine or healing in every lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
It comes naturally to him. And so he's told me what to do when you have a stroke.
Mm-hmm.
And your body starts recover. And it's just minerals and vitamins. You support the body immediately, and it starts to recover within 20 minutes. And within 2 hours, you're back as if you never had a stroke. And that is, and I've seen it work on other people. It's fantastic. So if you know what to do, you can counteract what they do to you.
Absolutely. Well, the other thing is scalar weapons. You know, when they originally developed this concept of omnidirectional, unaware individual scalar weapons, because that's what that project was Project PESAR, PESAR. I'm treading on water that I have to be very, very careful about.
Yes.
It's during just before the Vietnam War in Ben Dinh Phu Falls. The first group of scalar weapons were deployed as part of Project Talent, which was the original super soldier system. That was the time travel organization that reached back into 2000 BC into 22,000 AD and attempts to
Mm-hmm.
create the unified Earth space defense fleet and time travel instigation organization, but we'll
Mm-hmm.
simply call it that, instigation. So
Yep.
those organizations began developing human scalar weapons so that their off-world vessels had weaponry that couldn't be removed from the hulls of their ship, that their
Mm-hmm.
weaponry was the living minds of the people. So
Yes.
they developed a network group of people who they went through some horrible experimentations as fetuses, where if
Yes.
you have a concept of a vessel that's going to be created by time travelers in the future, and you have been given a list of all the people who are going to be those time travelers on that vessel, you go and find them early in their life, and you make absolutely damn sure that they are in your control, even as a
Yes.
fetus. If there's
Yeah.
300 people that are going to be on this ship, guess what? Each and every one of those as a fetus will have been taken out of their mother and put into a common mother. Okay, 3 or 4 mothers,
Yeah.
their fetus would be taken out of their original mother and put into this common mother for a week or two, and then taken out, and then all 300 would go through these 4 or 5 common mothers. So when they all meet in the future to become part of this original vessel, they share a frequency in which they never understood before.
Yes.
A common mother.
Oh my God.
That's how they fuel the people in the space defense fleet. You know, exopolitics, China has people coming out left and right that are part of the Earth Defense Fleet. They talk all about it. It's been many, 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 many explanations publicly, not publicly from the news, but from the different truther organizations that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
There was a hacker in London 10 years ago that exposed everything of the economics of the space fleet that's out there. There's could be as many as 400 different vessels out there. I think there's well more there, but I'm not going to
Yeah.
say that on a live radio because the pushback can get a little difficult at times.
I know.
But these human scalar weapons were deployed in Ben Dinh Phu Falls, and this is where the first human soldiers began experiencing what scalar weapons can do. Imagine a group of children, and I mean children, 10,
Yes.
11, 12 years old, brought into the Vietnam expression, landed from a helicopter. They psychically connect to the American military troops who are connected there, and then psychically connect to all of the different Vietnamese troops that connect to there,
Mm-hmm.
and begin to form a semicircle of children, and all of those other human beings that are there, they take in all the hate, all the anger, all the violence, and all the everything, and they bring it into a common energy field, and then a massive burst and pulse of energy goes out of this semicircle of children and doesn't affect those that are connected to the children, but all those unconnected to the children, all of the hate, all of the anger, all of the violence suddenly turns on them, and they begin consuming themselves as their cells break down and literally go through spontaneous combustion. Everyone within 3 to 4 miles of that original scalar burst.
That is absolutely amazing. I, I had no idea. I knew because of my own attacks it was scalar energy. I knew that, but I had no idea it was being used in such a.
It gets
Oh my
worse,
God.
and I don't think it's right to bring up how worse it gets.
No.
Maybe for a future interview after we've done stuff, or we can talk more about that. I have publicly talked about Project Talent many, many times, as well as the human scalar weapons. So I'm not opposed to talking about it. It's just it gets dark, it gets evil what they were doing
I
because they
know.
were creating weapons, human weapons.
I
And
know.
yes, you have human scalar weapons that live next door to you, and you would never know it.
I
Never ever
know.
know it.
It
And
just
they don't
didn't
know it
make sense.
themselves. Right.
I know it didn't make sense to me, and it just. But I know it was true. I know it was true. Oh my God. And who is in charge of all this scalar energy and who's running it all?
The Israelis. They're the ones that put the warranty on everything. The
Oh,
Israelis are controlled by the Pope, who's controlled by the Queen, who's controlled by the 186 richest people in the world, who are also controlled by the 2,000 different cabal organizations that have blackmail on everyone. And those 2,000 cabal organizations answer to 3,000 different off-world species who aren't nice people, who are all time traveling. And then you have a whole
yeah.
time traveling organizations that's affecting all of the things that I just described.
Oh my God. So the sooner the Vatican falls, the better, because
Eh,
I think that'll bring down everything else.
no, 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 no,
No?
no, 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 no,
No?
no, no. It isn't about the Vatican. The Vatican will kill itself. It
How
has no
soon?
choice. It
How
has no
soon?
choice. Well, we can make it quick. We just need to rise up. That's it. We just need
Yes.
to rise up. Let's literally walk in the street and say, I don't
Mhm.
demand the truth. Begin
Yes.
doing sit-ins. Begin doing flash mobs with contract revocations. Do
Yes.
something. Show
Yes.
the leadership of this world, the new leaders are here
Yes.
to take your torch of leadership and say, no, we are going to burn your future creations and take that energy and convert it into our creations of this
Yes.
life, of purity of humankind. For all sentient kind living on this world and coexisting on the world, we all have the same rights and equity. We have all the same rights and equality. The amoeba next door has the same rights as the human being over here.
Yes.
Okay? Everything can live within balance. That was the whole point of the exercise for all beings immigrating to Earth, because it can be done. And it's here where we prove to the rest of the universe, guess what? You can do it. And that's when we put two fingers up in the air. And unfortunately, I'm going to do this. We're all number one. All right?
And you
We're
know
all
what,
number one.
Andrew? We will do it. We
We
will
will
do it.
do it. You know, there'll
We
be a
will.
time where there'll be a billion hands pointing the middle finger to the sky of domination and control, and that'll be the biggest power human beings can do to take
Yes.
back all of the sovereignty that's been stolen from them through tacit consent for the last 32,000 years.
Yes. Now, I had people actually in Italy who went to Rome to reclaim the ley lines. But if I tell them to take your revocations and read them there, that is going to be so much more powerful.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I
Oh,
encourage people to do this wherever there's a place of power. Read those contract revocations. Take back your own energy.
yes, yes. Oh my God. Yeah, and the people are fired up at the moment. You know, they keep saying, we are working on the ley lines. Is there anything else you want us to do, you know? And oh gosh, so many countries are, Brazil is another country that they really, and they're in groups, great big groups, working, meditating on taking back the energy. I just wish America and England and Scotland, Scotland doesn't seem to be awake at all. Ireland are waking up.
No, 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 no. They're awake.
Are they?
It's just, I'm going to use a metaphor. Think of Germany, World War II, the French resistance.
Yeah.
Okay, there is a resistance-free Earth at a subconscious level that's rapidly spreading throughout America, throughout all of these other countries, and this resistance is to understand that our mind is in control, and the resistance is getting into your heart. The unresistance is once you're in your heart, it's all those others that are in resistance can be loved back into non-resistance by going through our dream worlds, by going through our self-healing processes, by holding space for other people, and
Yes.
then understanding that the technology that we have is here, and that we need leaderships, third dimensional
Yes.
leadership, fourth dimensional far-sighted beings, and fifth dimensional people who can understand business fifth dimensionally and third dimensionally to create fourth dimensional business plans that everyone can understand.
Yes. Andrew, I would like to stand in front of the Vatican with you and read the revocations. We'd have a lot of people with us doing it.
Oh, I agree that we could do that. We could even do a webinar of it. We could get a live video feed and get 100,000 people on there bringing contract revocation to there and then physically go there.
Yes.
Yeah, we can do it to all of the main buildings.
We do it
Every single one of the main
everywhere.
buildings.
Everywhere. Yes. It's time for action. We've
It's the
sat
time for the
back.
leaders to step up. Yes,
I
action,
know.
action, action.
We need action. We've waited for other people to do it for all these years. Oh, other people will do it. No, we have to do it. It's up to us.
It's up to us.
I know it is. And the ley line project has really given me so much heart. It's People are ready. They're ready to take action. They're not prepared to sit back and be controlled anymore. That's it.
Right.
Those days are over. We
Well,
are the 99%.
no, 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 no. We're about the 31% right now, or the 18%, because we're all
Yeah.
separated into factions.
Yes.
Okay, this concept of 99% versus the 1%, it was absolutely vital that this concept come out, but the
Yes.
news, the mutant propaganda media rapidly mutated its perception into to good versus evil. It isn't
Yeah.
about good versus evil. The 99%, it isn't 99%. It's all. It really represents is all the different factions who are telling one faction who runs the world, we don't want you to run the faction anymore. But those 99% have no common moral code amongst themselves to work together.
Absolutely.
Okay, no
Absolutely.
common moral code to work to each other. So that 99% is a bunch of 30%, 17%,
Yes.
16%. That adds up to 99, and that is the
Yes.
factions that I've spoken about time and time and time again.
I know.
We've almost been out of this paradox 4 times. This is our 5th time of doing it, and every
Yes.
single time we failed, it wasn't about the dark. It wasn't about the beings coming here and orbitally bombarding us. We failed because of our own factions.
I know. I know. I know. And you see, they all believe, oh, a savior will come. Look at how many people believe that Obama is the savior they've been
Hmm.
waiting for.
Hmm. Yeah, look at that.
What do you have to say about that?
What do I think? I
Yeah.
think Obama is doing exactly what he could do. Nothing.
Yeah.
As a
Exactly.
being who has children and a wife and knows full well that those children can be turned into transhuman things, or worse, be killed, or worse, be brought back to life from death and then hand dangled in front of him for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
And that includes every congressman out there too. They've all been blackmailed.
Yes.
Will they
I know.
face their truth? Yeah, they'll tell their truth. Will they have
Yeah.
freedom the way we do? That's yet to be determined as we begin to understand how much our whole world has been taken and how people following these belief systems just do what they feel is right. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, right now, when they feel they're doing right, that's their belief. And we cannot
Yes.
deny that from them. And we
I know.
cannot take that from them. But what we can do is educate them onto the truth of belief here.
Yes.
And when we come down to the common moral code of harm no others, we
Yes.
can do that. All of the major religions, even all of them got it wrong, but the Buddhists, they're the ones that came the
I know.
closest, but they still got it right. They all understand that we can live together. They all have a common moral code they can all work with.
But an awful lot of people don't understand that the Vatican created all the other religions.
No, it didn't. It was the
Re-
Vatican was part of the creation long before it. Long before it, yeah. All of the current top religions were created well before the Vatican. The Vatican is just the management system. That's it.
Yeah.
It's just a managing system. Okay?
I know.
Take the religion out of it and just look at it as property management.
Yes. Yes.
That's what the Vatican is. Property management on a global scale.
That's right.
Sacred
And
space, property
oh
management.
yes. Oh yes. Now, people don't understand that the Knights of Malta is an organization within the Vatican.
Yep.
And you will find the Rockefellers and the
Hmm.
Rothschilds and the
Every
Queen
one
of
of them.
England all there. How's that possible if they're not Catholics? That's proving you don't, oh my God, it really, I say to people, but look at it.
They're not
That
Catholic.
fact.
Exactly. It's that in front of people. It's that in
No.
front.
As Monty always says, it's in front of our noses and we don't see it because we're
Right.
blinded to it.
What I like doing is going to big cities and with friends and start pointing to sacred geometry, structures, and
Yeah.
imagery and roadways, and they had no idea. And I could, like, all right, here's a Mason symbol, here's a
Yeah,
third eye symbol. They're everywhere, all
I
over. If
know,
you just look.
I know, I know, I know, I know. It's when you point it out to people because they've no idea how controlled we are.
Yep.
They just accepted everything as the norm. But
Okay.
it's it's wake up time, my dear.
Well, we have a choice. We can take a quick break and get something to drink. We've got quite a few people on the here. Do you want to take a quick break and then come back into the second hour? We've got about 10 minutes till the top of the hour.
We've got 10 minutes. Okay.
So let's do a little bit more, and at the top of the hour we'll take a break.
Okay.
Just a quick one to get some water and get
Yes.
everybody ready for the next material. So you
Yeah.
had said before that you had specific questions from Monty?
Yes, he wanted to go into the question of everything started in the West and went east, and
Mm-hmm.
all the lies until people realize the truth and start looking at things that are true, our true history. We're we're sort of in limbo, aren't we?
Um,
You know,
Limbo.
that doesn't exist.
It doesn't
But you
exist.
remember I'm Irish, my dear.
I know.
We grew up with the nuns, limbo, purgatory, hell, damnation.
And
I had all that,
all those are
and none of
sacred
them exist.
geometry. All of those are sacred geometry words, sacred geometry linguistical words that keep you trapped in the sacred geometry.
That's right.
So there
No,
is no purgatory. All of that is false.
that's right.
And there are beings out there that the entire beings who believe that's real until they get kicked in the butt and sent back to the incarnation.
Yeah.
And then there are other beings who are trying to stay up there and saying, "No,
No,
I'm going to
no.
believe in this even in the afterlife."
You know, when Monty first died and we were having seances, because I mean, he was active from the beginning. As I told you, he materialized for the first time 3 weeks after he died and spoke in his own voice. And I had seances every week then. Oh my God, the questions we asked. I have recordings of all those seances. And we were getting a lot of information that we didn't understand then, but we do understand now. Because it was too soon for me to, oh God, it was like my head was spinning from all the information coming through.
Okay.
And
What else do you know about the Knights of Malta? I mean,
uh,
you kind of triggered the Galactic historian here to look at all the Akashic records again. You know, those guys have
yeah,
been around a long, long time, haven't they?
they have indeed.
Hmm.
So how long have they been around?
Longer than you and I.
Oh, definitely that. Definitely.
Actually, the Knights of Malta were formed at about 11 million BC because Malta was foreseen as being an island in an ocean
Yeah.
that wasn't the size of the Mediterranean at that time, because before
Uh-huh.
the oceans began to rise and fall, rise and fall, rise and fall.
Uh-huh.
The Knights of Malta were a time travel organization that realized the shape of Earth was going to change very rapidly,
Yes.
and that the sacred geometry infrastructure that was the original foundation of the pyramid system would need to be enforced at the shoreline level. So they
Uh-huh.
began building cities at the shoreline level and attracting people to them, knowing full well that these cities were going to be flooded.
Oh my God.
But it was a choice. Bring the sentience of the people to the ocean so that the oceans connect to the people and live on the ocean, part of the natural orders. While the oceans rise and fall, the people have to go to higher ground, or lower ground. And they made sure that the people came out of the mountains, out of their different Neanderthal cave areas, out of their different cities that were protecting them from different invasions, and they began going back down to the oceans. And
Mm-hmm.
that was the original purpose of the Knights of Malta,
Oh my God.
as well as the connection to the Earth Goddess and numbers of
Yeah.
other factions within them. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going to call them a totally riddled organization of evil, because all of those organizations are both good and evil at all sides. because one
Yes.
can't exist without the other. The reason the Vatican has the hell and has that other stuff is because they need someone to fight. Otherwise, you're not going
Yes.
to believe in, servitude, or you're not going to believe in sins of Jesus, and you're not going to go be healed, the sister. You're not going to let
I
that hand
know.
touch you.
I know. I know. Did you ever know Dr. John Mack?
Yes, I'm quite familiar with his work, and I know you were very, very close with him.
Oh, he died returning to my home one evening. He said he'd be back at 11.
Never
He
came
was
back.
killed at 10 past 11.
Hmm.
And I had arranged a seance for John to be here for it. Instead of that, he was dead. But Danny, his son, was here.
Hmm.
And Danny said, please, please, can we go ahead with the seance? Because I've never been to one, and it would be, well, my God, the first person through was John Mack. I'll never forget what he said. I might be the new boy on the block, but Veronica, you'll be hearing from me. He said the car hit him. He was given a choice as to whether he died or lived. And these are his words, not mine. He said, I looked down at my broken body and I decided, no, I'll go. And he said, there was Monty waiting for me. And he was so excited. Oh my goodness. It was sheer joy, you know? And he wanted to assure Danny he was fine. He didn't feel a thing. Yes, the car hit him, but he said it was as though he was touched with a feather.
Hmm.
And, John is with Monty on the other side, and they're having a great time. They're working so hard. Monty's explained that on that side of life, as well as this side of life, we're working together. And when I do what I have to do, and you know what that is,
Hmm.
then the spirit world will be in communication with us. We will be able to see them and speak to them.
Hmm.
And that's wonderful, isn't it?
It's absolute. Well, it's our birthright.
Yes, yes, yes,
It is our
yes,
birthright. And it's
it
about
is.
time that the new leaders step forward and begin accepting their birthright and learn how to use these skills of mediumship, these skills of communication. I'm not the only one that
Yes,
can read the Akashic record out there. I have just taken it to a whole new level that the rest of the
yes,
people need to catch up on. There's
yes.
technology in the future that helps everyone read their Akashic records.
Yeah.
I am
Well,
a special and unique individual for this
yes,
lifetime, just as well as you are a special and unique individual, or my producer Santi is a special and unique individual. And we have unique opportunities here to look into this different perception of mediumship. Mediumship
yes.
isn't just about ghosts. Mediumship
No,
can also connect to the off-worlders. But we must
yes,
remain spiritually clean, spiritual
yes,
cleanliness, take self-healing and self-nurturing time, and do not overwork. Do not become the classic example of a light worker who wakes up, decides to be a healer, goes and does a class, doesn't deal with any of their own personal stuff, and starts putting their hands on and healing people until they come home and realize that they've taken all the junk of all the people they've healed, and they become very sick. Very
yes.
sick. Time and
I
time
have
and time
noticed that.
again.
Yeah. I've often wondered why these people who are supposed to be healing other people are not well themselves.
Exactly. Well, we are ready to take a quick break. So,
All right.
we're going to mute our mics. Everyone that's listening, we're going to take a quick break here. So we'll be back in about 5, 6 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and mute our mics and take a break here real quick. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, we're still live. We're just going to have to just take a quick break. I just need to go to the
Yeah.
bathroom real quick.
Okay. Okay.
All right, I'll be back.
Okay.
All right, I'm back. Hey, Veronica. You got to unmute your mic. You just got to unmute your mic, Veronica. At the top of the screen, that little microphone mute. Can you hear me, Veronica? If you can, nod your head. At the video screen that you're looking at, Veronica, at the top, if you scroll your mouse to the top, you'll see a little thing that looks like a microphone, a video camera, a volume button. On the left, just unmute your microphone. There's a little black bar at the top of the video where you see the image of of the video. I can't hear you, Veronica. You're still muted. It's okay. We'll figure it out. At the video that you're looking at the very top of the screen.
Yes.
There you go. You're unmuted now. Yay. I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay. Santi, we are ready to go back live. So we can go back live. Ready. Okay. And welcome. Yep, we are back live, everybody. All right. Welcome, everyone, to the continuation of the interview with Veronica Ford King. And here we are. Welcome back, Veronica. She has disappeared. The Google Gremlins continue. Wow. Well, I am going to sit here on live video as we try to figure out the Skype Gremlins. So one of the questions Veronica had asked me was specifically about the ley lines, and the ley lines have been on our world for a very, very long time. The original setup of our world. And there's come a time where another group of people, who were us, created a second system. And this is the sacred geometry system that I've spoken about many, many times in many different scenarios. We as human beings have an opportunity to take back that sacred geometry ley line system and return it to the natural order of Earth. We return it to the natural order of Earth through our heart space, through our ability to shine on all different aspects of our existence. Where all different parts of our body, all different parts of our spiritual expression begin to shine the seven colors of light, and we begin the rainbow warrior process. And why a warrior? Because we are bringing all colors of perception and experience together in 100% contrast control. And that's something that has not been done in our universe, and many other universes at that. It's a great teaching lesson when all the colors of expression have all the colors contrast control, so that an individual being can have an individual shared experience with anyone that it wants, and the individual of the ever-present co-creative moment determines how much processing that they do, how much exploration that they do, how much inner work that they do, how much they share with this world they do. They can start as a turtle or a rabbit or anything that they want. They can change form. They can go to any point on the world instantly with their mind. That is the freedom that comes to humanity. That is the freedom that comes in our DNA. That is the wisdom of our world. And it is a brand new world for us to inherit the legacy of our ancestors and to respect that legacy as our DNA. And that DNA contains memories. And those memories are what we have done as a species. When we come together in unity and all the different DNA lineages begin sharing their DNA memories, is where we get back our race memory, where we are no longer a race with amnesia who has to pay to live on this world. That's how far the scam goes. That's pretty significant. So we are still waiting for Veronica to get back. Until then, I just wait. Somebody's popping in here.
Oh, good.
Veronica, there we are.
Panic, panic, panic.
It's okay. Just relax. Take a couple deep breaths, and we are back. I took over there, and I was talking about sacred geometry and freedom for a second there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I've got to get rid of this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. It's gone again. Oh.
Oh no, 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 no. And the gremlins continue. So my producer Santi has been asking me to do a gremlin contract revocation. So I'm going to do that right now while we are waiting for Veronica back. At the exact moment in the ever-present co-creation, I summon all DNA lineage ancestors to be a part of this shared experience of radio. I summon this DNA lineage ancestor spiritual cord of equity, so all things, all beings in one degree of separation of Veronica, myself, Santi, and all those that are in this inner circle of truth and trust that are in this world, that all 1 degrees of separation come into unity and begin to deny the gremlins access in every way, shape, and form. And Veronica is back. Here we go.
Thank goodness. I don't know what was going on, but these things happen, I'm
We
afraid.
call them gremlins.
Yes, my dear. Yes.
So Veronica, did you have any other questions specific from Monty, or is there stuff on the material you'd like to continue to speak about?
I think we ought to create plans that everybody can join in, like the ley lines, like, people
Oh,
need to know what to do. They're ready to do
they're
it.
ready to do it. And you and I privately spoke about doing a special event in London later
Yes,
this year, and that there could possibly be a concept where we start in London and end in Ishnok or Tara Hill.
yes,
And if there are
yes,
people out there that want to be leaders and volunteers, we could set a tour from London to Ishnok to Tara Hill using contract revocations the entire way on every sacred geometry system that is in that tour. We could meet in London, have an event, get on tour buses, and head to the sacred geometry places and begin contract revocations in the buses, ceremonies in the buses, get out, build big fires, bring drums, and do what we were meant to do. Come together
yes,
in common moral codes, exchange information as human beings, reclaiming all of our energy and sovereignty. And when we arrive at Tara Hill, we arrive with a massive, massive load of energy, and we take
yes,
back our power. And when we, the new leaders of the world, leave Tara Hill, we take with us our individual sovereignty, and we glow. And that
yes.
is how we teach the world, with our glowing energy of our returned sovereignty. And in that will spark whole other groups of people who will do the same thing.
Absolutely incredible. I gave a talk at Tara about 20 months ago. And we went up onto the hill, and a lady was speaking, and Monty kept saying in my ear, help them to revoke their baptismal vows. Now, you've got to remember, this is Ireland. And he kept saying it in my ear. I didn't have a choice. I had to do it. So when the other lady stopped speaking, I suggested that if they wanted to do it, we would do it there on the hill of Tara. Where else? Do you know, there was one lady who was 80, and there were twins, 18-year-old twins, but there were lots of people there, and they all said, yes, please, can we do it here? So Tom Ryan read it out. Fortunately, we had it with us. There wasn't a dry eye in the place. The tears just flowed. But Andrew, we could hear the vibration under our feet of the ancient drums. There were no other people around us except all these people standing around in a circle. We were conscious of the enormity of what we'd just done. And as we walked away from the hill of Tara, there was a great big statue to St. Patrick, who was never a saint at all. He was an army man. He came to kill, and my God, he did. We circled his great big statue several times, and we took back everything that he had destroyed. It was so powerful. It was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful. But we felt that the ancients responded by the drumming under our feet, the ancient drums. It was a wonderful experience.
It's a great power in the drum. The fire was the first shaman, and the drum was the second shaman.
Yes. That was a powerful experience. And you know, the interesting thing, since I did that, people went in busloads and carloads to all the ancient sites and took back their sovereignty from Rome.
Well,
and they enjoyed doing it. It was wonderful.
We could plan this many months in advance, 4 months in advance, where we could have several groups of tour buses all linked through webcams of them revoking contracts in every sacred geometry city spread throughout the world if we really, really wanted to go that big. And it very much could be that way. But it requires leaders and volunteers and an organization that can make sure communication is done, that you do it so people aren't getting ripped off on the buses, that they make sure that the quality and quantity of the experience is the right thing. People be staying in hotels, all that other thing. Some will want to camp. There may be others that want to go the old school way and walk it. We welcome every single expression of taking back your power.
Yes.
These contract revocations, when you read them out loud or you read them privately, there is very, very little anyone can argue with that isn't about unity consciousness and how unity consciousness can be maintained.
Yes.
There might be some small semantic concepts here or there, but for the basics, coexisting on life, we do no harm to anyone. We do not allow energy harvesting. We do not allow people to declare our quality of life, so on and so forth. We don't allow propaganda and mass media and etherical technologies or brainwave control technologies here. We don't want any of that stuff. We want our own 100% free-willed experience without limitations.
Absolutely. And you know, Andrew, we will do it.
We will.
I really believe we will do it.
I do. And we can set this intention forth right here, right now, to all those live listeners here. We challenge you, both Veronica and I, to share this audio, this little clip right here about putting together reclaiming of your sovereign power, and that we assemble in London sometime in the summer, and we begin a tour of the major sacred sites and end in Tara Hill with a massive, massive drumming ceremony. Let's get 10,000 drummers at the Hill of Tara
Oh,
reclaiming the power of this world.
yes, yes. Oh my God, yes. Oh, it's powerful. It is so powerful. You will love it, Andrew.
Hmm.
You will absolutely love it.
Here's the challenge, world. Is there
Yes,
10,000 of you with a drum willing to reclaim our sovereignty in unity as a species at the Hill of Tara?
yes,
And I'm speaking in a specific intonation and vibration to a specific soul format of people who have all 7 rays of color, all 7 rays of wisdom, who are the wisdom keepers of our world. Are you going to light the torch from your sacred space and bring it to Tara Hill? Or are you going to stay in the caves and the mountains until all of us are finished in unity and you come out and wonder what happened? The monks cannot stay in the caves anymore.
no, no. No, this is what we must do. I really believe it.
Hmm. We
And we
can't.
will do it. Yeah, I know.
So both your webpage and my page will begin to reflect this, that
Yes,
that there is a summer reclaiming of sovereignty.
yes,
Okay?
definitely.
Okay?
I'm 1000% with you.
There we go. And that's how we change the world.
Yes,
That's how we change the world. Right now, both Veronica and I can say, without a shadow of a doubt, both her and I changed the world today by bringing a potential that did not exist before.
that's right.
Okay?
Yes,
Every single day, you can change the world when you choose to see your potential.
yes, yes. Take the blinkers off. Stop
Exactly.
watching television.
Pick up
Stop
a drum.
watching.
Yeah.
Pick up a. Just walk. Do you know what? I find walking in nature, walking. I I live in an. I've trees in the garden which are beautiful. I can walk down the road. The most amazing trees. The energy I get from those trees. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. What does it cost? It doesn't cost anything.
Nothing.
But it frees your mind. And, it's the simple things that you realize are so important. I could never ever live anywhere where there weren't trees. I need to be able to see them.
Here's
And
here's here's another thing. This is me that just spent a moment of reading the actual potential that both you and I set forward here. So for those people that have heard this intonation and vibration, the call of Tara Hill to bring your sacred fire, to bring your sacred drum, to reclaim the sacred sovereignty, bring with you a pack of seeds around your neck. Make a sacred pouch, and from your homelands you bring a pouch of seeds that hang around your heart that you sleep with until the moment you get to Tara Hill. And then as communion, we all bring those bags of seeds that we've worn around our hearts, and we bring them next to the sacred fire, and we power them. And then they put into a big bag, and they're blessed by all the shamans and ceremonies there. And then each person takes out a bag, not knowing whose it is or what it is, and you return it to your home, and you plant those seeds of unity.
that's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful, Andrew.
I challenge 1,000 of you to do that. I
Yes,
challenge 10,000 of you to do that. I have already done my seed ceremony around the world, and now the beings like me are asking you to step into your sovereignty. The power that I have, I freely give to each and every one of you every single day. But I cannot give away my power for you to learn, and you cannot give away your power to me. All we can do is step into sovereignty and unity, and each being will experience their sovereign expression differently. And each of us will have to learn to honor that as their personal expression into sovereignty, no matter how different it may be from yours or mine. Is that person's desire to change into that sovereign expression, because that is what their soul needs during this change. The
yes,
expression that says what's happened to them in the last 54 million years of soul shard separation and reintegration and reseparation. until finally being betrayed by false light beings, followed into reincarnation over and over to the great forgetful sleep until nothing of our race existed. And now here we are, challenging you, one summer in 2014, to take a few weeks to reclaim the sovereignty for all of your past, present, and future lives.
My God, that's powerful. And we will be powerful beings again.
We are powerful beings right now.
I know, but we will realize, we will step into that power.
Mm-hmm. Step into it.
Yes. Yes.
It's alchemy. It's pure
Yes.
alchemy what we're doing. Each and every person that would get on that bus, each and every person that would pound that drum, whether you were in Tara Hill or watching it via live stream, you are part of that alchemy. We are unity.
Yes.
We are non-resistance free Earth.
Yes.
We no longer need to resist. It is our natural birthright to reclaim our sovereign power.
Yes.
Assemble on Tara Hill.
Yep. We will.
I put the call out to the 17 universes of all blue body nations. You guys got the guts? You gonna step forward?
I've
That's
got
me
a
looking.
feeling they will.
I know, I'm looking right at them right now.
Yep.
We brought a potential in that wasn't expected.
You know.
The soul circuitry and format between this slice of time right now and those that are listening live and all on the archive, that's a billion eyes looking at you, Blue Body Nation. That's a billion of us stepping forward, claiming our sovereignty. As the winds in the bald hills picks up, we all know this. It's time that we shed the skin of shame, blame, and guilt on all levels of expression now and begin to alchemize every single thing we've done in this machine of karmic resolution. And it starts with a footstep.
Yes.
Stand up and say no.
Yes.
And for those of you that want to say more than no, assemble on Tara Hill.
Yes.
You spread that word loud and far. Every corner of this planet, every corner of this universe.
We will.
That's right, we will. Because we are manifesting, co-creating beings, and we are even changing the potential with every word we add right now.
Yes, I know. It's time for action.
Time for action. What does it take to get people to turn the television off and plan a week in the summer?
Yes.
A few hours?
Yes.
A few hours of your day? Maybe 10 at most, 15, even packing your bags and getting onto the damn airplane. 15 hours at most?
I know.
Unless you're really, really searching for a bargain on a ticket. Okay? There are tools out there you can get tickets for easy.
Yes.
Veronica and I, off air, we will organize a part of the webpage and we will begin putting this forward because we are leaders and we do follow through with what we say here.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. So, Veronica, let's move on with the interview. What other questions do you have for me?
Oh, my God. My mind has just gone on to Ireland now. And oh, my goodness. Questions. Right.
Questions.
Right. Oh, my God.
I know. I got you off. I know. You're full of Ireland.
There, you've got me doing it. You know, I'm there. I'm doing it. Mm-hmm. Oh, and someplace there's a place in Ireland I want to walk with you. Mm-hmm. It is where Monty made his pact with me that whichever one of us died first, we would communicate and we would bring good, solid evidence of the afterlife.
Hmm.
And we always assumed it would be me dying first because I was very ill. And it's a little place. It's called Inch. It's on the Dindal Peninsula. It's in Kerry. It is on another level of energy. It is, oh my God, you leave all the cares of the world and you just walk along, and you've got the sea at one side of you and you've got the mountains on the other. It is the most beautiful place on earth as far as it's the most spiritual. And every time we went to Ireland, Monty and I, we used to every day walk the 3 miles down and the 3 miles back. And it was as if you'd walked a couple of yards. It was wonderful. My sister used to live there, and I believe the Strand Hotel is reopening in June. So we'll be able to go there, and I'll be able to take you there, Andrew. And the dolphins, there are loads of dolphins there as well.
Hmm.
But places like that, and it is on a massive ley line also. And there are parts of Ireland that are so incredibly spiritual. You pick up the energy, and it is amazing. But you see, the people have been blinded to all this. And that I will never, I will find it very hard to forgive the Vatican for that. Ireland is wonderful. It is so. I get off the plane and I think, I'm home. You can't explain that. And I want to show all this to you.
Yes, because she is showing her completed soul circuitry by the word home, by knowing
Yes,
it. Everyone
yes,
has a home here.
yes,
That signature frequency that says, I can let down and create sacred space here.
yes,
That
yes,
is a right that's being denied to our human species right now.
yes, I
It's
know.
part of your natural sovereign right to have a home, that
Yes,
signature frequency of protection with
yes,
food, water, and all that love
yes,
that goes inside that sacred space so we can have this wonderful shared experience of this world.
yes, I know. There are places that are so special, but that certainly is one of them.
Hmm.
And I want to share it with you because I know you would appreciate it.
Hmm.
So, how do we go about encouraging people to get involved with us?
Well, I think it starts with people organizing themselves and saying,
Yeah,
well, when would be the best time of year to do it? You do it at the height of travel season when it's most expensive, and the off travel season. Ireland and in London are both in a time where they need travelers.
I
They
know.
they need the travelers. Maybe there are people out there, leaders, who want to go and talk to, let's say, an event arena and say, maybe we can start it here, and begin to
Yes,
communicate to Veronica and I through our web pages, and we will answer back. Yeah.
yes. Well, we could hire
Vol-
Wembley
We could
as
hire.
a.
Whoa, that would be wonderful. 15,000 of us in sacred geometry
Exactly.
Wembley Stadium claiming it back. Wow. I don't even know if they'd allow us to do that. Who's got the
Oh.
stroke over there out there that can get us Wembley?
But the people are ready, you see. The people are ready.
Oh, I
They're
even got
just
a
waiting for somebody to say,
I've got
just,
a better than that, Veronica. The Olympic Stadium right there.
yep,
Oh, that's still so full of Olympic sacred
sacred
geometry.
floor. Oh my
There
God.
we go. That's where we do it.
I know.
80,000 of us there.
Do you know, I think we could.
You know what? We could. If there's
Yes,
enough people out there that want to start making Facebook memes that
yep,
say Wembley 2014, Veronica Keane, Andrew Bartzis, Galactic Historian, tour to reclaim your sovereignty around the world. We could start in Wembley and end in Potomac, anywhere around. We could do more. We could do the whole world, every single sacred geometry city if we
yes,
wanted.
yes, yes.
We just start in one place, and you
Mm,
put out a whole bunch of other tips of the spear of reclaiming sovereignty.
yes,
We assemble in a single place, reclaim our sovereignty, take the torch of freedom to all points of the earth.
Yes. It's got to be done.
It's got to have leaders.
Yes,
Okay?
definitely.
Got to have
I
leaders.
can't think of a better one than you, my dear.
Well, I'm stepping into the position here, so we're going to need a whole
Great.
bunch of other leaders around us.
Yes. Yes. They'll come forward.
Yeah, an
They're ready.
entourage.
Yes, definitely. Oh, this is going to be wonderful. This is what the world's been waiting for.
I know. It's been waiting for people to just say a level of truth that everyone can hear and go, you know what? I don't want to listen to this blogger or that blogger anymore. Not to
Mm,
say that their information is any good or bad. Right now, we're stagnant. We're stuck.
yeah,
Those bloggers need us to talk about.
I
They
know.
need the leaders to talk about.
That's
They
right.
need the people to step up to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay? You know, your blog is one of the highest rated consistently. And the reason is you're constantly putting out information that is new, that isn't
Yes.
recycled and regurgitated from 2008.
And isn't telling you that the bus is going to come and pick you up at the end of the road and take you to Ascension. Not
Exactly.
going to happen.
Not going to happen.
You got to do it yourself.
Exactly. So for all those light workers out there think it's going to happen tomorrow, nope, nope,
Nope.
nothing's going to happen. They are still planning your future lives. And until
Yep.
you claim your sovereignty this lifetime and
Yes.
reclaim your energy in whatever way, shape, and form you can, they're going to continue to plan your future lives because you have still given them consent to do
Yes.
it.
Yes. Do you know, Monty showed me, actually, it was last night. He suggested that I should try and get a house in Ireland so that we would have a base there. And I thought, yes, darling, you don't need money on the other side of life. In this life, you need money to buy a house. I know they're very cheap in Ireland at the moment, but it's a wonderful idea. And in the future, yes, if ever I can, I would love
Mm-hmm.
to have a base there that we could all use.
It would be really nice. It would be very
Yes,
nice.
I know.
You'd be surprised what will happen once we start asking for help. The
Yes,
whole universe out there that can begin to give us help if we begin to receive the synchronicities of life.
yes, yes.
And I want to say something to all the talking heads out there. They know who they are. The ones that repeat, regurgitate.
Yeah,
Talking heads, pundits. We're in a truth movement. If
yeah,
you want to be talking heads, go to the Republican or the Whig Party or some other party. We are beings of action manifesting in this moment. If
hmm,
you want to talk, go talk over there. If you want to lead, get in the front and lead with everyone else. Don't shout from behind. Don't
yeah,
be the the couch quarterback anymore. Show us your light. Show
yes,
us your willingness and drive. I've come forward as a human being going through an incredible experience of change, as is Veronica and Montague and many other people in this truth movement. I am not an omniscient being. I am not in the Ashtar command. I am not in any of those things. My
no,
record has been public from point 1 to point 2 to point 3. And all those bloggers out there and all those light workers out there who project a perception upon me, when you look at the totality of my work, it speaks for itself. That is why I can get the top guests and the top hosts like Veronica or Laura Uplinger or work with New Earth Nation or work with anyone in the world. Why? Because my signature frequency of information remains in the heart space. And those people that hear it know it.
yes.
So now you leaders out there, you talking heads out there, put down your blog for a day. I challenge you that. Put down your blog for a day. Take a break. And when you're ready to come back, you come back as leaders, leading from your own perspective. Do your own version of sacred geometry retrieval. Come up with something better. I challenge you, each and every talking head, to stop being a talking head and be a leader. Be someone that shines so bright that this world cannot deny. Do something that gets a billion YouTube hits. Do something other than talk your head off.
I couldn't have put it better myself. It's
Mm-hmm.
wonderful.
So I'm gonna get off the Sermon Mount for a second there.
I find myself doing that every now and again, and I said, sorry, was I preaching?
Was I preaching a little?
I know, I know, I know. Oh, dear God. We've certainly given food for thought.
Mm-hmm. Not GMO food either.
Oh, no. Oh, no, no, no.
Exactly. No GMO food for thought.
No, no. Oh, my goodness.
So, Veronica, we're also going to be doing a part 3 on this Saturday.
Saturday, yes?
Yes, and that's going to be a special, special, special one where we're going to go into some of the more nitty-gritty of our world history. So why don't we give
Yes.
people a sample? So we've talked quite a bit about Ireland. You want to go into some of the deeper history of Ireland for a little bit here?
Yes, very much.
Okay. So
Because, Ireland is the key that will unlock everything. That has been drummed into me by Monty. Once people understand the history of Ireland, then everything else just falls into place.
Well, why don't you give people a quick understanding of that, so that they have a understanding? Because few people are familiar with our work, and when it begins to cross over like this, it'll make it easy. You've understood that the Egyptians and the Irish were very, very similar, if not the exact
Yes.
same people, as well as the Israelis, because all of those was the center of action for the history that was going to be created. So let's talk the Irish, the Egyptians, and the link there.
Yes. Now, if you go to parts of Egypt, you will find ancient Irish crosses. You will find ancient Irish writings, I should say. Where I grew up in Kerry, in Tralee, there was what was known as Scotia's Glen. Queen Scotia, the daughter of Nefertiti, is buried where I grew up. Does that make sense? There are pharaohs buried in Ireland. Every time they have excavation, they find Egyptian things in Ireland. And that just does not make sense.
Nope.
And similar things happen in Egypt. And these connections go way, way back. And that's why I understood that it wasn't the Vatican then, it was Rome. They decided to destroy the Irish people, destroy Ireland and its religion of love and the ancient Druids, and to destroy Egypt. And those two countries have been kept down. And look at all they've stolen from Egypt. You go into any museum all over the world, and all the ancient Egyptian, those things should be in Egypt, not in the British Museum.
No, they should be in a world trust as a legacy, as a global species.
Yes,
Because
yes.
it's all technology.
Yes. Now, you were talking about the Hill of Tara.
Mm-hmm.
They have built roads around it. They have done everything to destroy the energy there. And John, you spoke to John recently.
Mm-hmm.
He was telling me that they are planning to do the same around Stonehenge, because they're going to build all sorts of factories all around it to try and cut the energy coming from it. And that's the European Union doing all this.
Mm-hmm.
This
Well,
has got to be
that's
stopped.
part of Agenda 21, which is
That's right.
the old sacred geometry system that was built on brick and mortar over many millions of years needs to be fixed, because there's not a proper amount of people that can maintain the sacred geometry magic that's needed to keep it together. So they are switching to a digital format, from cell phone towers to different pieces of road technology that make a whole different type of sacred geometry system that's much more manageable as an infrastructure that requires repair. So when you see the EU do that, it's such Agenda 21, giving them the ability to do that. And Agenda 21 is going to reclaim the last of the sacred sites that weren't claimed before, because there were good people in this world over many thousands of years that made sure many sacred sites were maintained and that they weren't destroyed. Because we
I know.
could have mined our world into a hollow world if we really had to. There was quite possible for a while that there would have been a hollow world because we would have all mined it all out of everything, but we didn't. The world changed. And now Tara Hill and all of those other sacred spaces that are being threatened, we can change the vibration of the place
Yes.
that no matter what they do, it will come through. Simply by our footsteps there
Yes.
in
Yes.
unity. We
Yes.
can program the reality so that all of the plans of the infrastructure that they want to bring in would have none of the effects that they want, and all of those factory workers that there would become
Yes.
consciously enlightened beings the more and more they work there.
That's right. That's our plan,
That's right.
and we will do it.
That's correct. So the other thing of Tara Hills, the tunnels that are underneath it, it's the master portal connection to all the different tunnel systems that are part of the various Agarthan networks that are spread all throughout the earth.
I know. I know. But I'm only learning about all this now.
When
And yet,
the Bible talks about the 40 years of traveling in the desert, what have you learned about that?
well, actually, Monty got me to relive it several times because I was one of the people who left Ireland and went to Egypt. And I was one of the people who returned to Ireland bringing the sacred objects back with me.
Mm-hmm.
He has shown me this, and he has, I know all about it. It was the Irish who wandered. And Gilad Atzmon, have you ever read his book, The Wandering Who?
No, I haven't
Because,
read that book.
oh, it is, I interviewed him as well. Oh my, a beautiful soul, a really beautiful soul, an Israeli
Mm-hmm.
who researched the whole thing and realized the Jews never wandered anywhere.
Yep.
And he has been pilloried for saying that.
Well, yeah, he's challenging every part of their belief system by saying you
That's
didn't
right.
wander, you didn't inherit this land, you conquered it and killed a whole bunch of people doing it.
Exactly. He told me, he said, when I was 18, they put a uniform on me and expected me to go out and kill people.
Yep.
I couldn't do it. And you know what he said? I looked into their eyes and I realized for the first time I was on their land. And that's when he started researching. And that is an amazing book. I know I started reading it and it got to 2 in the morning and I couldn't put the book down until I finished.
Mm-hmm.
It was truth from beginning to end.
Mm-hmm.
And he said to me, they stole their history. And I said, yes, Gilad, they stole it from Ireland.
They stole the whole world's history.
I know they did.
They destroyed our oral teachers and historians who passed on the special traditions of how to be a special being, to do what it is that I do, to
Yes.
connect into the Akashic record as a grandfather, grandmother of a local clan, tribe, or small nation. And there were hundreds and hundreds of clans that had hundreds and hundreds of record readers.
Yeah.
Because they all did that. And
I
that's
know.
what a lot of what was going on during the Egyptian times, where the 40 years. Excuse me a second. I'm being raided by gremlin flies who are landing on my camera there.
Yeah.
Then the systematic removal of the oral teachers and historians throughout our world, so the industrialized world could step forward. Because the
Yes.
industrial world couldn't step forward as long as the oral historians and teachers are telling us about the infinite world inside.
Yes.
We needed to be disconnected from that for that to happen. And that's
Yes.
what did happen. And
I
there was a
know.
massive betrayal on the spiritual world where Dreamtime societies were created in the industrial concept. So people would begin to dream into the industrial world as the oral teachers and historians were being murdered here in this world. And the sacred items and artifacts all throughout the world were robbed and pillaged and put into museums that are sacred
Yes.
geometry that millions of people go and view every year and get their energy harvested on because their DNA is being activated by seeing all of these
Mm.
objects in a prison.
Yes. Yes.
Okay? Museums are energy prisons.
I know. I
Okay?
know.
There'll be a whole new way of honoring our ancestors and their artifacts, and it won't be in these concepts of museums that are trapped in
Definitely.
sacred geometry.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay?
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Mhm. So we've got just about 10 minutes left in this interview. Why don't we give them a little bit of taste here, and let's
Yes.
let's talk some ancient history of the Irish people.
Yes.
Are you familiar with the Picts also?
Yes.
Well, the Picts were a very special breed of people that became consciousness explorers. They're the ones that are most notably going for battle naked with painted bodies, and they were mercenaries during different organizations. In different times, they were a highly spiritual organization.
Yes.
In the beginning of their history, they were seeded as a specific type of DNA that was overseen by a group of Orions, as well as Syrians and Greys and numbers of others who were making a soup of a specific type of DNA that they could massively create on Earth, and they would freely breed amongst themselves, and then they go in as temporary gods in a belief system and select the best of the best psychics to leave the world and go through an awakening process so that they could become pilots of their vessels, which were consciousness exploration vessels. Human
Hmm.
beings who awoke on Earth in these places of power became such a massive commodity that those beings who had access through the quarantine field and were part of the DNA trade could literally make a like draft lottery, and then like the other people from other worlds would come and visit and meet this person on Earth and
Hmm.
interpret them literally what they could do here on Earth. And the Picts were an example of that.
Yes.
They just disappeared
I know.
because they
I
were all
know.
removed from this world, because it was
Oh.
proven that their DNA would ultimately cause a massive awakening amongst people if it was
Hmm.
allowed to stay here. So they
Yeah.
were removed from this world and seated on another world in which they were a part of a different domination control. But they
Hmm.
brought the spark of earth with them. They brought the
Yes.
spark of freedom with them. And they freed that world from domination and control and became a highly spiritual science community that now is a part of the quarantine field here, waiting to reclaim their natural rights as human beings born of earth as a signature frequency.
Yes.
So the Picts, they're up there in
Yes.
their own vessels as part of a massive organization that's come together to make sure that whatever is going on in our solar system is finished, that it
Yes.
doesn't continue on another million years.
Oh, thank God for that. Yes. Yes. It's heartbreaking to see people struggling with what they have to tolerate at the moment,
Hmm.
with the financial ruin facing most people. But the pigs, yes, that is, and they're coming back. That is so wonderful. That is so wonderful.
So we are nearing just about the end of the show here. So we've got
Yes.
about a couple minutes left. So why don't you give out your contact information, so people that are listening to this can email us or get a hold of your website?
My website is www.montaguekeen.com. Montague
And
Keen.com.
my website is galactichistorian.com. You can also check me out on the Facebook page. There's a brand new public image Facebook page there. It's no longer a private one, as well as galactichistorian.com. You can also look me up on YouTube and Veronica Keen up on YouTube. We have an intensive amount of audios and videos that are available to you there. I advise people to check out some of the information on sovereignty. Spiritual contract removal examples can be found on my website at the resource button at galactichistorian.com. All right, everybody, stay tuned and please share this episode. Share the first one. For those of you wondering where the 1,300 hits disappeared off of the first one, we had to re-upload the audio. There was a mistake in the audio, so the audio from the first interview is up. So there is no conspiracy of hits being taken away. It was just an audio issue. So we also have this audio up shortly by the end of the day. So please, people, leaders out there, share this Facebook, share this Google, share this, get it going. Because you are the leaders here. Veronica and I have stepped forward, have created the potential. We're going to create the framework for this. And the next interview we're going to be doing is going to be Saturday at 12 p.m. Pacific, I believe. Is that correct, Veronica? Or is it 10?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's 10.
10. Okay.
Yeah, it's 10. 10 Pacific. 10. And it'll be posted. No. I got a message. 12. There we go.
12. Okay.
12 o'clock. There we go.
Okay.
All right, everybody. We are going to end the show there. It has been absolutely fabulous. And I bid adieu to everyone in all parts of the universes. And Veronica Keene, it has been a pleasure. And Montague, I know you're out there. It's been a pleasure for working with you too. Stay tuned to this Google Hangout for Saturday, 12 noon, 8 p.m. London time. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Yes.